It is our season finale, and we're going to connect you with all of the action that's been going on behind the scenes based on some things that you've requested and asked us to do over the last year. And we're excited to share those with you. So if you want to advance, Jamie. This is, as always, this is our AI Learning Collaborative team, myself, Erin Hugus, Jamie Nelson, and Pari Bach. We are your TBR AI Learning Collaborative. And as always, we are excited to be here with you today to learn with you and to have you as part of our Tech Talk Tuesday. We have some very exciting things to cover today. We're going to talk just briefly about the TBR AI policy. We're going to talk some more about the communities of practice. We sort of touched on that in our last session, but we want to spend some time on those today. We have a very brand new, exciting sneak peek at our AI Exchange database that we have been talking about and that you all have been asking for I think a little over a year. We're excited to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of something that we are bringing into reality based on what you were asking for. We're going to spend some time in our Bridging Minds and Machines site, our resource site. It is robust. It has a lot of really amazing resources in there, and Jamie has put a lot of effort into making it a really useful site. So we want to make sure you know what you can find in there. And then we're going to have some time for Q&A at the end. So we have a lot packed in today, but we hope that you walk away with some really cool things. As always, I have my housekeeping tips. So as we're talking about AI, you will hear me say, do not put any PII into the tools. Make sure that you're removing PII. In addition to that, if you are using the tools with any student information, you're uploading student information, make sure you're removing the PII when you're uploading any kind of student-related work. This is because in those tools, when you put your PII in, that then becomes part of the tool's learning database. They can train off that unless you've turned off your training, the training data. So make sure you're protecting not only your information, but your students' information. And last, but certainly not least, is based on the recommendation of our TBR IT team, we do not allow third-party recording tools such as Otter AI, Read AI, any of those additional tools into our meetings because we don't have privacy contracts in place with those. We don't know what the privacy statements or the terms of use look like. So if you happen to have those, know that if they pop in, we're going to deny them access. But feel free to, those tools that we have institutional agreements with, so like Microsoft Copilot is recording this meeting, it will transcribe it, it will give us those kinds of things. That's perfectly all right. If you have the Zoom accounts through your colleges, those are okay as well because those privacy statements are included. So those are our housekeeping tips. I did want to take a minute today, and Jamie, if you'll forward, we talk about PII all the time, but I wanted to just do a quick refresh of what that meant. So PII, just as a reminder, is any information that can be used to distinguish or trace a person's individual identity. The definition's a little bit longer. I put it up there for you, but just as a refresher, that's what we say when we're talking about PII, is that it's anything that can distinguish or trace an individual's identity. As a system, we have a best practice called minimum necessary. And what that means is that if we're sharing information, we should use the least amount of information to the fewest people possible to satisfactorily perform that particular function. And how that relates to AI is that we shouldn't have any of that distinguishable information in our AI when we're using those tools. So just a reminder, and then I wanted to just, for those of you that didn't know or weren't aware or hadn't looked at it in a while, there actually is a policy on PII from TBR. It's going to be in the slide deck for you if you're interested in digging a little bit deeper, but basically it's making sure that we use the minimum necessary standard to safeguard. And that applies when we're talking about AI as well. So just a quick refresh on what PII is. We talk about it every month, but we don't go into detail. So we thought we'd take a minute and just do a quick refresh. All right. Well, we did promise this is the season 2 finale. And as any finale, we like to give you a little bit of a peek behind the numbers. So, in a given year, we do a lot of work in the AI space. So, for those of you that have been with us, we have done 10 Tech Talk Tuesday sessions. Our Tech Talk Tuesday season runs from September to July. We don't host Tech Talk Tuesday in August or January because we learned real quick that faculty are really, really busy. Colleges are really, really busy. TCATs are really, really busy in July and August, or August and January as we're getting semesters started. So we don't host Tech Talk Tuesday in those 2 months, but in a given season, we host 10 Tech Talk Tuesday sessions. This year for Tech Talk Tuesday, we had 771 individual registrations for those 10 sessions. And of those 771, that represents 352 unique individuals, which means that many of you are showing up every month to join us. And we want to give you a big thank you for coming to hang out with us every month. We love having you here. We hope you enjoy your time with us. But of those 352 unique individuals who've come to Tech Talk Tuesday this year, 43 of you have shown up as skeptics. You come and you're like, I don't know about this AI. I just kind of want to check it out. I've heard people talk about it. So we've had 43 skeptics. 97 of you are in that novice category. We're like, well, I've tried it a little bit, but I'm kind of new. I'm not sure what I want to do, but I'm coming to learn. 80 of you are dabblers, which means you kind of play with it a little bit here and there, but we have 80 dabblers, 98 adventurers, which means you're hanging out with the rest of us and you're just trying things and you're seeing what works and what doesn't. And 30 of you are making a deep impact with AI. You're head first, you're using it, you're trying to break it, you're trying to make it work for you. And so what really is exciting for us is that we've had this wide array of folks in our Tech Talk Tuesdays, which has added to some really great conversations and learning over the last 10 sessions over the season of Tech Talk Tuesday. Your AI team is also working on additional training behind the scenes. So we thought we'd give you a sneak peek of what that impact looks like for season 2. So in the 24-25 year, and Jamie, if you'll advance that slide for me. Your AI Learning Collaborative team has been busy. We've been up to a lot of things. We have delivered 23 customized AI learning development sessions over starting last July. We have done 23 sessions. We have talked to over 1,000 individuals in the last year training on AI, which was kind of exciting for us as we started counting heads and didn't realize that we talked to that many people, but it's really kind of fun. And just to give you an idea of some of the places we've delivered the customized sessions, we've been at TCATs. We've been with TCAT Pulaski. We've talked to new faculty. We've worked with Southwestern, Roane State, and Cleveland State. We've talked to the TBR system presidents. Jamie did a great session at the Board of Regents retreat at the President's Roundtable. We've been in school systems. So Knoxville County Schools have invited us over. Cumberland County Schools have had us over. And we have taken our show on the road to both the Achieve the Dream Conference and the CBE Exchange Conference. With an international audience. So we have kept ourselves highly entertained and busy talking about AI over the last year. And we thought we would just give you an idea of what we have been up to during season 2 of our Tech Talk Tuesday.
Awesome. Amazing. I'm glad that we have you to thank for all of this data collection, Sarah, and it really helps to tell the story of what we live every day. So welcome to all of you in our journey on this. Then the latest update here is that the team has been working on developing a system level AI policy. It was approved by the board last month, and it is now published in the policy system website. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview at this time, just to introduce you to it, and so that you can go and explore it more on your own. And Jamie will be happy to field any questions you may have because she is the expert and was intimately involved in the development of this policy. So basically, there was a state requirement that we needed to meet, and we did meet that timeline, which is amazing. But the vision is just to that TBR embraces the transformative potential of AI, including generative AI, to empower students, faculty, and staff in achieving their goals. And the purpose of the policy is to provide adaptable guidelines to support the responsible and effective use of AI across TBR and its colleges. With that, the commitment with TBR is to maintain those high standards we already have in place about academic integrity, data security, privacy, and ethics. And so the next slide goes into a little bit of an overview and outline of what you'll find when you go and explore this policy yourself. The first section does a really great job of level setting terminology that are related to the policy itself. So you'll see that those are handily defined for everyone to understand and have a shared understanding of those terms there at the very top of the policy. And then within the policy, there are the sections. So the general information just spells out exactly that, just the general information about the policy. And then it goes into more detail into the protection of the confidential information and copyrighted material. It goes into specifics in classroom and instructional use of AI tools, the use of the tools in research specifically, and then finally on staff use, our employees' use of these tools. So we highly encourage you to explore that website. And if someone hasn't already, I can paste the link. Oh, somebody beat me to it. So in the chat, there's a link to the site that has the policy published there for you to explore on your own.
Okay. I am excited about communities of practice, and I hope you are too. So along the way, you all have asked for ways that we can intentionally connect and allow folks to collaborate based on a professional role, interest, a goal. You've asked for ways that we can connect you across the system to continue to learn how to best utilize AI. That's where our communities of practice come in. We are launching the TBR AI Communities of Practice. That form, that interest application is available on our Bridging Minds and Machines site. We will highlight that in just a few minutes, but you're always welcome to hop on to our Bridging Minds and Machines site. We have several, as you'll notice, we have several groups that we've kind of defined based on what you've asked for. Our intention is this is going to be a scaled launch. So we are going to look at those applications. We're probably going to start with 2 or 3 groups, and then we are going to continue to expand this across the next year. If you want to get involved in communities of practice, I'm going to highly encourage you to hop on to our Bridging Minds and Machines site today and look at that application. Applications for round 1 are due by next week. July 14th. We really would like to open this opportunity to everyone who's interested in participating. So please make sure you get your application in. But these communities of practice are your opportunity to connect with those in a similar role across the system. These are not going to be a one and done. The intention is that this is going to be that. We've called it communities of practice intentionally because we want you to connect and develop positive practices across the next several months. So this is that opportunity. You have asked, we have answered. This is how we're going to connect you. Please feel free to ask us any questions that you have, but the application is due for the first round. Again, this is a scaled launch, so we're going to do 2 or 3 communities of practice first, and then we'll scale out as we get those started. But that first deadline is July 14th, which is next Monday, and that application is on our site. So if you have any questions, ask us, but we do want you to be sure you not only take the opportunity to apply for our communities of practice, but also share it with your colleagues who might be interested as well.
All right. We are super excited to bring to you or show you a sneak peek of our the AI Exchange. And basically, this is one of those, if you guys remember, some of you have filled out an AI usage form, and that form would give us information about how you might be using AI and maybe submit use cases. But this is going to be a public facing exchange of those use cases that is searchable and sortable. And so you can see stuff you submit, you can see stuff that is submitted by your peers in other institutions, etc. So I'm going to quickly show you what this looks like, and we are expecting to release this, have it ready for use by you, maybe by next week. So really quickly, oh, let me share my screen. That will help. We are very excited about this. This is a very simple database. If you come to it right now, it will have some dummy data, but don't worry, it will be populated with the stuff that you have already submitted. If there was a use case you submitted, a couple of years ago, Cheryl Tays, I know you have. But right now, just for demonstrating purposes, when you come in here, all the activities up to 50 are going to be just listed right here on the homepage. And as you can see, it's your faculty or staff can submit use cases. So don't worry if you're a staff member using it for productivity. What you want to do is come in here and say, let me search for. You could search by anybody's name and institution, or you could say, I'm looking for, say, a title of an activity is, let's say this is role play. And so if you search for role play, it will just bubble up those things, right? And so think about this as, if there's 200 activities, you want to use the search button very proficiently, you can reset it. So when you come into, when you want to submit your own AI use case, how are we using it? A little hack, a big hack in classroom, outside classroom for productivity, personally, professionally, whatever. You can come in here and submit your use case. There is no requirement to sign in or anything like that. Basically make an account, you submit your name and email institution, and we want this to be accurate because we want colleagues to find your use cases. We want to give you credit for your use cases. We want to sort of build momentum by people saying, oh, my friend is using it this way, or Nashville State is using it this way. And so please come here, submit all this information. And these right here, the communities of practice, do you align with the most? What you'll see is this aligns with our communities of practice form application that is due here. So the more you do that, the more we are able to zero in and allow people to search in those communities of practice. You can have a category or activity of a use case, and if it doesn't fall into any of these categories, which it will probably will, but you can always say other, and it will allow you to enter your own category. What AI tools you are using, and any kind of details about your activity. And the great part about this also is you don't have to submit an artifact, but if you submit an artifact, you are able to submit up to 5. And so the first thing you say is, I want to submit maybe 2 Word documents, 2 PDFs, whatever, and you can drop those in here. And like I said, it doesn't have to be submitted. You can just describe what you do. I use AI to, create a schedule for my bowling team, like, Arian had made right there. So it can allow you to do that or not do that, and then additional comments or feedback, and hit submit. And when you do that, there is an approval process on our end. Once we approve it, it will show up here. And the way what it looks like is, this is dummy data, but when you click on the activity name or view details, you will see the details of the submission, all the metadata, who submitted what, whatnot, and then what the details are, what the comments are, and any kind of, oh, this one does not have an artifact, but let me show you maybe one with an artifact. So you can, the clicks, you can just directly link to the artifact, download it, do whatever you want to do with it, repurpose it for your own reasons, stuff like that. This is truly it's a sort of an exchange. We're exchanging our ideas and our projects with people, and sparking new ideas on other people as well. So this is coming very soon. This will be available to you to just start putting your stuff in, searching stuff in, etc. So Very excited. Jamie, you're muted.
I've talked up a storm. So yeah, that is super exciting, and we are just so thrilled because that was one of the things that faculty specifically asked for early. So we're glad that that's marching right towards the publish line. And we wanted to take a moment today to revisit the Bridging Minds and Machines website. We consistently share the link with you guys, but we also want to make sure that everyone knows that we are constantly working on this website and updating it. These tools, as you well know, change daily. So we spend time looking and talking about various tools and looking at their value to what we're trying to accomplish in our system. And so we want to do that legwork for you. I'm going to click over onto this link, and we're going to take a look over here to the website. Let me just pull this one up. I've already got it open. And we're going to just do a brief little tour of what's on here. And so when you load up this site, it's easily accessible on any size screen that you are using. So it's optimized for that. So you can use it easily on a phone as well. So when you come to this site, you're going to click continue. There's just some information located here about the creation of the site, and then it's going to jump into a screen where you see the navigation bar over on the left. And as we continue to add different pieces to the AI Learning Collaborative infrastructure, then this navigation bar will probably grow. And we will strive to always keep that clear and simple, and so that you can see exactly what it is that you're going to access when you get to those areas. If you have suggestions, we're always open to those. So when I look over on the left navigation bar, I'm going to see the different sections. You can navigate through this RISE site by clicking continue, or you can go directly to a page by going through the left navigation. So I'm just going to click through to make sure that I'm hitting all of it and we're not doing jumping. So let's just talk a little bit about the impact of AI on our area of education and what's going on there. You will find all of our Tech Talk Tuesday recordings on this website. So if you if you had a conflict and one of the meetings is going on and you think, hey, I want to really hear what they had to say in that meeting, come here, and we always have the recordings posted. We shoot for a 24-hour after the Tech Talk Tuesday session to have it up there, but it has a couple of times where if we've been traveling, etc., then it's taken maybe 48 hours. So 48 at the max, you'll find those recordings posted here. And I just wanted to kind of thumb through these quickly and let you see how this little navigation works. So the most recent Tech Talk recordings are always on the top. So as you look down through our past sessions, you'll see the titles of those. They go all the way back to the very first one when we first started talking about these generative AI systems and what was going on at that time. That was 2023, I believe. I'm not real sure. I have to go back and check. It's been a while, right, since we've done that. But you'll find up through here we've talked about various tools. We started out talking about interfaces, how they work, how to interact with them. So we've done all of the big ones that you've heard of. We got into Copilot and looked at how we can efficiently use Copilot, particularly in productivity. So that was really some great sessions there. We've talked about setting expectations for use when you're starting to implement AI in your classroom, and we'll look at resources in just a moment where you can go do some exploration if you're thinking about your syllabus and what other people are putting in their syllabus. syllabi. We'll take a look at that in a moment. So you can come on up here. We've talked about using generative AI tools as a tutor. So there's lots. We don't go with this just as how you, the faculty member, can use it, or how you, the staff member, can use it in productivity. We also come in how you can show your students how they can use it as well. And so we want to make sure, and even with our AI exchange, that if you've got something, hey, students could use it in this way, be sure and share that with us too. We'd love to incorporate your ideas. Coming on up, you'll see some productivity sessions here. And so I'm just going to click on this first one. So last Tech Talk, we talked about GPTs that are available within the Chat GPT platform. And so when you come into this accordion menu for these recordings, you'll see that each one of these has some text description that goes along with it. Except for that one. Looky there. I need to go add some text description. And so what we try to do is to let you know what we talked about within these sessions. As of late, Teams has been able to produce for us some timestamps. And so over the summer, one of the things that I'm working on doing is going back and making sure all of our descriptions have timestamps. And that's simply for you, if you're looking for something in particular, you're looking for AI for flowcharts, let's say, just an example here. I can see where that sits within that session, and I can scrub through the video. So that's one thing that we're working on now, is to just make it easier for you to find specific nuggets of information within each of these video recordings. And so those Tech Talk recordings are there for you. Remember, most recent ones are on the top. Also, at the bottom of this page is the registration for the Tech Talk Tuesday. And so this registration link is for our friends across our system, our colleagues across our system, but also beyond. So if you have colleagues that are in other systems, at other colleges, K-12, wherever, be sure and share this link with them, because we want everyone participating with us, and then we can learn more quickly about how AI is being implemented. So that's our Tech Talk Tuesday page. Here's some information about our communities of practice, and Sarah mentioned the link to this form, the application form. So there's more information over here about how those communities of practice will be formed and roll out in the scaling piece. So come on over, take a look at that. We hope that you will consider joining us in those communities of practice. And again, that will let us have a layer of folks working together, collaboration between us and all of our schools and institutions. We want to make sure that we've got this consistent conversation, and we've got this great Tech Talk way that we talk back and forth, but we want to have more collaboration, more communication within our ecosystem. Now I'm going to go to the resources page. This is where you're going to find all kinds of resources that this team works very hard to find and discuss and talk about. Are they value added resources? And then we'll build those on here for you. The first thing you'll see here is the AI policy is linked here too. So we try to mirror different ways you can get to the resources on our site. So if you read the Monday Minute newsletter, for example, you'll see that group oftentimes will disseminate links to our work for us over there, and we try to build those collaborations out amongst ourselves. So share any of these links with your groups within your institution for sure. I'm going to click on down and move on down and get into the different tool listings here. Here's a great little tip that we used to share quite a lot, and it's a really good way if you want to have an email. So you say, okay, I don't really want to use my work email or my personal email to sign up for tools, then create one that you are using for tool exploration. So that's just a tip we include there. And then you can use that email throughout when you're signing up for different tools if it requires you to sign up. So this first listing here is going to describe how the tools are broken out. And you're going to see that we have quite a comprehensive listing. These tools, we add to these lists all the time. Companies, we see some larger platform companies will buy smaller tools that exist out there and implement them into their larger tools. We get companies creating new tools all the time. So this is a moving target. So we're constantly paying attention daily in our work to see, okay, what tools are out there? What are the new ones? How are they being used? What do the reviews look like on those tools? Are they useful? If they are, then we will add those to our list. And so we have those grouped out, and you'll see the general purpose, so that you'll find the links there to the large language models, etc. And then we get into audio, video, speech, assessment, feedback, coding and data, collaboration, image generation, presentation, research, search engine, writing and editing. If you think of a category that we have not included here, please let us know. We are constantly looking at ways to grow the site. So this accordion works simply just like the other one does. You're just going to click on the plus signs to expand each one. I'm going to look at the assessment and feedback tools just to show you what you're going to find here. So first you'll find a link to the tool. You'll find what the primary function of the tool is, use cases, how it's being used, and you'll see if there's a cost associated, that will be on each tool as well. And then we have use cases for faculty, staff, and students, and we do this for every single tool that we have on here. Now, let me just say, there is a disclaimer on this webpage that says we are not endorsing the use of tools. Now, here's why we have that disclaimer on there. When we go out and we do our deep dive research on these tools, we look at them, we play with them a little, but sometimes it takes use over time, right? To figure out, okay, I really have value add for this tool. So the reason that we have a disclaimer on here is we just simply do not have the time to do a deep dive on every single tool that's out there. But we do vet those tools. We do try to take a look at them and make sure that there's good, solid information behind them. And so you'll want to just thumb through here, see if there are tools, see if there are tools that you're using that we may not be using. Please share those with us. So again, this is constantly growing and changing as we get new tools in front of us, and we will add those for you. So just take a look and play around with those when you get a chance. At the bottom of this resources page, we have curated web-based resources. And so we have those broken out into different categories. So this is for different applications in teaching and learning. So we're focusing on those. There's also productivity here as well. So you'll see the links to the site that's on the left, they're clickable, take you directly to the site. And then on the right, there's going to be a brief description of what you're going to find when you get there. Again, this is just like the other. We're constantly updating. We're constantly checking to make sure things are active and available. Links aren't going dead or going to places they're being redirected somewhere else. So take some time to check this out. We've got different AI repositories out here. So take a look at those. Some really good resources out there. And again, we try to keep those focused within the mission that we're on, and wade through some of all these different tools out there. AI skills development, we have some different thought leaders that we follow, that we share with you out there. Again, this is something that we're changing, that is constantly changing and is a moving target, but we've got a core set of go-tos that we rely upon, and we want to put those out there and share those with you. We ask that you would do the same with us. If you have some thought leaders that you find that are reliable and useful, and you think that would be something to add to the site to share with your colleagues, please send that to us and we will include those as well. So you'll find newsletters, podcasts, audio casts, so that, you know, some folks might want to throw on some ear pods and do a walk and listen to it. I like to do that as well. And some I like to watch because they show things on the screen, and my team does the very same thing. So there's some different ways of different multimedia ways that you'll find that content that's out there. Under this frameworks, guidelines, and policies, I wanted to just to highlight this one for just a moment. If you are new to implementing AI in your classroom and you want to see what some example syllabi policies are that are out there, this is a great little document. It's a living document. It's been up and available to the public for, I want to say, going on 2 years now. And so it has quite a lot of entries in there. Let me just click over here real quick and show you what you're going to find. So it's this massive spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet allows faculty from all over the globe to come in and add in their particular different syllabi statements that they're including for their courses. So if you want to see how other people are using AI, this is a great way to see that. So you can come in and find folks who are teaching in your content area to see how they're using it. Or you just want to see, what does a sample syllabus statement look like? You will see variations in here. Some are very simple, some are very in-depth. So it's kind of all over the place. You're going to find syllabi statements in here from colleagues across the state of Tennessee. So they could be at the University of Tennessee. They could be at one of our LGI partners. They could be at one of our community colleges or one of our TCATs. You will just see different examples that are in here for you. So that's a really great little resource to come and look at for that kind of thing. You'll also see if you're looking at maybe something for your college or thinking about, or your institution, about how are other people implementing AI. There's some other great little policies listed on here to see how other higher ed institutions are incorporating those as well. You'll see frameworks that are included here for ethical and responsible use. So take a glance around at that when you get a chance. And then also there are some college sites that are directly linked. We've come across things and we think, oh, that's really cool. They're doing a really good job with that. So we include those for you as well. And we would ask you to share with us if you come across resources and you would like for us to include those. The next section, this is the form that that was mentioned, that Pari often mentions in our training sessions about how you are using AI. This is the form that will feed into the AI exchange. We may be tweaking that a little bit, Pari. Are we going to be tweaking that going forward? Are they going to do it directly in the site?
Right. So what I mentioned earlier in the chat was that instead of this form, we will have a link to the TBR AI exchange here. And so that way they can directly do that. For now, it's this form, but as soon as TBR AI exchange is ready for rolling, then it will switch out and we'll make sure that none of the data is lost. Yes, correct.
Perfect. Thank you. So when you come to this site, you'll see a link, just as Pari mentioned. So that's fantastic. So if you're adding something today, come and add it here. And please, if you are doing something in your course, it doesn't need to be, it could be something really simple. It could be, you know, you've got a student panel. Whatever you're doing, we just want to be able to share so that we're all helping lift one another up in this space for AI. Also, if you have epic fails, because my fails usually are pretty epic, those are important as well. So be sure and share those. We want, you know, we want all the things that you're trying. And once, you know, I know when I'm teaching a course, if I'm sharing something and it doesn't work, then I tweak it and I try it again. So share what you're tweaking with us and how you're iterating on what you're trying in your courses. Lastly, the last section is just a playbook. And so this playbook is sectioned out. So we're playing on a sports theme here. And so we're looking at, you'll see the word seasons, right? Season 1, season 2. We talk about implementing from one academic year to the next. So that might be a 1 quarter to the next in a sports match. And so that's the way this playbook is set up. And so basically what it gets into, and there's some really interesting information in this playbook. And it talks about how to implement going from I'm just starting out with this. And this could be from a classroom scale all the way to an institution. So it could go classroom, department, division, institution, however you want to do it. But there's just some ideas here on how to implement it in the first quarter and then what happens in between the quarters. So you're doing some tweaking the second quarter. So I'm growing a little bit more, and then the third quarter and the fourth quarter. So take a look at that and see if there are some nuggets within that particular playbook that will help you and give you some ideas. Likewise, you're trying things, we want to know what they are. And so that is an example of the Bridging Minds and Machines. And so we hope that you find some really valuable resources over there to use as you are doing the implementation work and the learning work in your classroom. So let's keep on sharing and keep on growing this website. They are never done, right? And so likewise, if you're over there and you do click on a link and something's not acting correct, please let us know and we will take care of that pronto. So I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah.
Jamie, I was thinking as you were talking, we don't have this on the site yet, but in the spirit of connecting the work behind the scenes to the actions that are happening, do you want to touch on our brand new, still in development training request form?
Sure. And so on that, one of the things that we do is we come to campuses to do training. And so the process that's been happening in the past is someone from the campus reaches out to us through email and we go back and we have a conversation with them about it. We want to streamline that process so that it's much easier for campuses or departments within campuses or an instructor within a class to have us come interact with them, to collaborate with them. And so what we are doing is we are building a form that will live on the Bridging Minds and Machines website. So if an instructor, a department, a campus wants a training, then they will just complete that form and we will automatically reach back out to them and then have the initial conversations. Then what happens then to allow us to customize training for you is we typically survey the group that we're going to be training. So we want to know what is it that you're looking to learn. And sometimes, folks will say, we're not sure. We just are ready to step into this. And so you don't have to know exactly, I want to know A, B, C, but sometimes they do. They want to know, we want to know more about assessment. We want to know more about these, how to talk to students about AI, anything. So we'll have that form so you can let us know kind of what you want to know in that survey that we'll do after the initial conversation. And then we customize it to skill levels as best we can. So, but we also understand that it's usually a mix of skill level within training. So just this process will allow us to make training really valuable and meaningful for your group. So again, that will be located on the website. We also know that we'll probably still get email for a while, and that's the way we will get that until that site publishes out. So we're launching several things, so you'll hear some communication from us going forward on how to do that. So if you're thinking about you want some customized training, reach out to our AI Learning at tbr.edu right now, and then we'll get the form on the site for you.
Perfect. So and if Jamie, you'll go back to well, I guess I can share. Never you mind. Just a couple things as we wrap up. Let me share my screen. Okay, so a couple things as we wrap up. Make sure that you are registering for Tech Talk Tuesdays. As we mentioned, we take a break in August because what we've learned is everyone is really excited about bringing people back to campus, getting students started for a new semester. And so we pause in August. And so we won't be hosting a Tech Talk Tuesday in August, but we will pick those back up in September. You're welcome to register. That link is on the resource site that Jamie just showed you. We do have an AI Learning Collaborative email. It is ailearning@tbr.edu. That is a shared inbox that Pari, Aaron, Jamie, and I all monitor. So we will be checking that. If you have, as we're getting this training request form ready, it's not out yet, but if you have questions and are looking for us to come and do some collaborative training, or you have questions, I know there's one in there that we need to get back to about, I think it's some organic chemistry AI tools, any of those things, we love to hear from you. So please feel free to reach out to us with your questions. Also reach out to us and tell us what's working and what's not working and what you've tried. And if you've had a big win, we'd love to hear those too. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us at that ailearning@tbr.edu. We will see you all next fall. I am getting ready to pop in the chat a short recap of everything that we covered today, those big things that we've been working on behind the scenes that help you keep connected to the work we're doing in AI and help you stay connected with our learning collaborative. We will have the communities of practice that will launch, that the applications are due July 14th, so next Monday. The TBR AI Exchange, that is our shared database. So that's where you can share what's working, but you can also go in there and see how other people across the system, your colleagues, different roles are using AI. It's a great way to get some ideas. It's an idea exchange, hence the name TBR AI Exchange. So don't forget that is coming up July 15th. You will find that on our Bridging Minds and Machines site. We will have a link there. The AI policy is available. We've put a link to that TBR AI policy. It's really important that you all understand what that policy is and how your colleges and TCATs can address that policy and implement it. So that information is there for you to review and consume, but also our resource site is available as well. So please feel free to check all those out. Stay in contact with us. We will be back in September for our next Tech Talk Tuesday. We did finish a little early. We've got about 10 minutes left. So we covered a lot of cool things that have been happening behind the scenes, all of which were driven because you asked for them. You said, hey, is there a way you could? And we said, sure, give us some time and we'll figure it out. So everything is because you asked for it, but we do have about 10 minutes left. If any of you have questions, we are going to hang out. We are going to answer your questions. If you have ideas for the session for season 3 of Tech Talk Tuesday, feel free to hang out and share those ideas with us. Otherwise, we will give you 10 minutes back in your day. But if you want to hang out with us and talk AI, we are here for the fun. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your summer. And for those of you that need to hop off, we will see you back in September.